So right now, Jacob Wohl is trending on Twitter, and this story is definitely interesting. And that's really just another way of just saying absolutely batshit crazy because, of course, Jacob Wohl is 20 years old, and some people characterize him as a right-wing activist. Other people characterize him as a fraudster and internet troll. And the reason he is trending right now is because two journalists are claiming, based on sources, that he now faked death threats against himself. A major story. Of course, we saw the Jussie Smollett story break out in national coverage, but this story is just developing right now. And again, Jason, interesting to say the least around this entire case from Jacob Wohl, who also recently was kicked off Twitter for having too many fake accounts. So this story does kind of go along with that, as he's being accused of creating a fake Twitter account and sending himself death threats during his supposed coverage in Minneapolis when he was investigating Congresswoman Ilhan Omar, sorry.
Well, let me just say this. I really hate doing these types of videos because I hate attacking anybody personally, and I don't intend to attack this gentleman here in this video because I don't really know much about him other than what Luke said, that every time I hear his fucking name, Luke, it's the most crazy, outrageous, what the fuck moment in my life. So let me just share with you where I've seen him come up, all right, Luke? I've seen him come up saying that he was going to come with underage sex abuse allegations against Robert Mueller. Now, you and I have discussed Robert Mueller. Robert Mueller is not a good person. Robert Mueller has covered up some pretty serious things, including 9/11. You know what I've never found on Robert Mueller, Luke? Any sex abuse charges, but this 20-year-old hedge fund rich kid supposedly did. Then what do I hear? Well, apparently Ilhan Omar, who, listen, there's some twisted things in politics. We know that Barry Soetoro, aka Barack Obama, has more than a few skeletons in his closet. And we could talk about, fantasizing about 60,000 hot dogs all day. But for him to come out and say that she married her brother to get him into the States, have some evidence. Let's see some evidence, buddy. Instead, you know what I see, Luke? I see pictures of a young kid out by the pool in a dreamy scenario, ready to pose out for his next Backstreet Boys 2.
Why did you pull that up? That's disturbing.
Listen, the bottom line is this kid has a Wikipedia page that is super long. He's garnered a bunch of media attention. And so far from, the Kamala Harris accusations, the Ilhan Omar accusations, the Robert Mueller accusations, I haven't seen anything pan out. So how the hell is this kid trending? Why the hell is he so popular? I don't get it. Look, maybe I'm off. Maybe he's doing some real crack investigative journalism, and I've just been blinded by my love for the mainstream media, Luke. But wake me up when September ends and show me some evidence.
Yeah, that's a very unlikely situation. And of course, where is the evidence? I was at CPAC when he was giving a press conference. He had a guy with Apple AirPods trying to look like a tough security guard behind him. The whole thing was ridiculous. I talked to a bunch of right-wingers, and they're trying to distance themselves as much as they can, even during CPAC. And now we're seeing even more of a distancing, as there's even video footage of this incident that's coming out there with Jacob Wohl going to the Minneapolis Police Department and telling them about these alleged death threats that he was receiving. And the details here are pretty interesting because he was allegedly posing as a gay Hispanic diversity coordinator with the rainbow flag in his profile pic, who is issuing threats against him for his on-the-ground reporting in Minneapolis. It was also interesting. He did this, of course, with Loomer and Ali Alexandra. He did a live stream where he was literally wearing a bulletproof vest in Minneapolis. I was in Minneapolis. It's not that bad. It just shows you to the sensational nature. He is very young, but if he did something wrong here, he needs to be called out. And I do hope that the police department find out the bigger truths here. Now, Ali Alexander, who filmed Laura Loomer and Jacob Wohl, is actually speaking out on Twitter right now, and he says, quote, Jacob Wohl has certainly lied. He's bragged that misinformation is useful. Hell, I've even been a victim of his lies. To string him up here before I see evidence would be easy. I choose to wait. I hope whatever the truth is, it comes out. People should thank me for filming this. Just the fact that Ali's distancing himself also brings kind of more truth and credibility to these allegations. And again, everyone gets death threats. I get death threats a lot. I don't mention them. I don't really try to talk about them. I don't really go to the police department about them because those are my personal choices. Other people deal with them in different ways, but Ali goes on. Jacob Wohl denies creating that account back in December of 2018 when it was created. The account interacted with William Legate, who runs a large bot farm. Two bad actors willing to lie to achieve political wins. I'm waiting for evidence. Hope Minneapolis PD push forward. And that's the bigger topic here. The truth does need to come out. This issue does need to be highlighted. The people who foment and use hate for political power absolutely need to face the full repercussions of their actions. The biggest action, of course, is people finding out about them and calling them out. And again, all the evidence points against Jacob Wohl, him being kicked off Twitter for fake accounts, people saying that this was a fake account that did this. Absolutely, Ali and all the people distancing themselves from him, the sensational nature of it all, his past with Robert Mueller, also another incredulous case. You don't need to make stuff up to have political wins here. The reason people do it is for own personal power. This is not politically, and people need to realize he's doing a big disservice, not only to the people he's falsely accusing and making all this stuff up against, but also, most importantly, to his side, to the side that he supposedly represents. He is doing the most amount of damage PR-wise, because now there's a case of people saying, hey, look, these people just fake all this stuff to claim victim, which I believe needs to be brought up. And I'm happy we're doing this video. I know, Jason, you didn't want to do this video, but this brings up this nature of this victimization mentality that right-wingers accuse the left of doing and being all the time. But right-wingers do it all the time too, saying, look how much of a victim I am, screaming, crying for, of course, attention. And this is not the way political discourse should be conducted. This is, of course, the destruction of any logical discourse because, again, it brings up emotion instead of logic. That's my take on it. What do you think, Jason? Agree or disagree with me?
Well, I got to tell you, this reminds me in a lesser way of the Morton Downey Jr. case from when I was a kid. Now,
I didn't even know about this. You told me about this. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm seeing the dude's face right now.
Yeah, it's wild. So for those that don't know, Martin Downey Jr. got this like late night talk show where he was the anti-Donahue and he was really edgy and things were happening on the Martin Downey Jr. show. Really crazy stuff. But eventually it fizzled out. Shock jocks don't make it. More than likely they have a window of popularity. The Howard Sterns of the world are very rare. The Alex Joneses of the world are very rare. And so when that popularity dipped, what did he do? He decided to try to play the race card and say that he had been beaten up in a bathroom and by black men, by the way, and had a swastika.
Jason, I just sent you the photos of it. I can't believe it. I can't believe the way he looks. I can't believe it doesn't even look like a swastika. But his face. Oh my goodness, this is absolutely ridiculous. I'm happy you brought this up because I had no idea about this at all. Keep going with the story because just absolutely incredible.
So again, he tried to race bait. He tried to incite this. He said, I'm not a Nazi. And no, he got caught. He made the whole thing up. And, on the other side, because this is another case with somewhat less fame, but Al Sharpton gained his first fame in this country by purporting that Tawana Brawley had been raped and had feces smeared on her in a racial attack by white police officers. Those police officers not only didn't do it, they sued and won. Now, they had their careers ruined. You know who didn't have his career ruined from lies and hate and race-based nonsense? Al Sharpton. So you see these cycles, and I can see why it would be appealing to a young guy like Jacob Wohl here. He doesn't want to be in a boy band, apparently, Luke. He wants to make a ruckus politically. Lies don't make friends. The reason that I've been able to stay in this game for well over a decade now, it's not because I'm smarter than anybody. It's because I don't lie. And if I'm wrong, I say, hey, I was wrong. And I'm not an attention seeker. I'm like, oh, what's the next stunt? I know what I'll do. I'll wrap pantyhose around my head and dress like the Joker and I'll call up Obama. And I mean, come on, there's a lot of stuff out there you can do to get attention. Not my style. I like to go over the news. I like to point out when things are fucked up. And I'm sorry, this guy isn't doing that. He's making things more fucked up, Luke.
I agree, and he needs to be stopped and he needs to be called out. By the way, Al Sharpton still has a show on MSNBC. Still, no one calls him out for his fake hate crimes and all this other bullcrap. No matter if it's left and right, it needs to be called out because it's a cancerous sore on America. And if you agree, share this video because guess what? We piss off people on both of the political spectrums, and that's because we know that they're both full of crap.
And you know, Luke, let me stop you because there's one more thing. You know, I forgot about Al Sharpton. If you're going to bring him up, you know, not only is he a host on the MSNBC, he's an FBI informant confirmed. He's a rat. He's a snitch. He's a bitch. He's Al Sharpton, who made his career on lies and then ratting other rats out. You make me sick, Al Sharpton. Jacob Wohl, repent now. Don't become Al Sharpton.
Yep. Now, of course, it's important to note here. We just did a video right before this. SPLC also worked with the FBI. A lot of connections here that makes you think, you know, the FBI that used to run COINTELPRO to make race relations worse in this country, to make people of color and white people hate each other before in an organized campaign, makes you really think what's going on right now. Just, you know, theories, of course, speculation, my own personal beliefs, but something worth considering. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section below. Now, Minneapolis PD are investigating. They're going to be releasing documents. Make sure to follow us on Twitter or even this YouTube channel with the notification button for more important updates. But when it's fake, when it's filled with crap, when it's meant to foment divisions in this country, when it's meant to empower individuals and gangs, stop that crap. We're hoping to call it out, and we're calling it out here. And if you appreciate that, don't forget to support us, to share these videos, and to make sure that you're here a part of this independent media journey, because the big tech giants, the big powers that we're going up against, they really don't like us for doing this. So once again, I love you guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for more here on youtube.com/we are change.